Welcome to the Billy and Andrei show, the only show that makes you think, whoa, look, there's Billy and Andrei. What are they doing? Why are they handing over Kool-Aid? Hey Billy, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, dude. How are you?
I'm really good. I'm really excited for this one.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one because it means I have less things to do. I can just react to what you've got as a special surprise on your laptop in front of you there.
Yeah, well, on this one, from the state of you.
All right, yes, I will cop to this right from the start. If I do sound a little bit different from normal, I am suffering a bitch of a hangover right now. Any evening that contains the words anywhere said around you, fuck it, let's have some tequila. Anything that involves fuck it tequilas, it's going to be a bad night. It's going to be a bad hangover. And you're going to regret it when you show up for a podcast a few hours late and your buddy takes the piss out of you constantly.
No, you're not late. We did organize a certain time.
Yeah.
But thank God it was my turn, because otherwise I don't think it would have happened. At least you're stronger than me. Last time I got completely wasted. Did not show up for it.
That's true. That is true.
So good job, Billy. That was a slow clap for you.
That's about the amount of clapping I deserve for showing up like this.
So, if you're wondering what's with the Kool-Aid, we're talking about cults today. Yay! It's the way it's gonna be. I'm gonna start off, just gonna go into it, and then we're gonna play a game at the end, Billy.
Ah, interesting.
Would you like to play a game with me, Billy? It's gonna be a fun game, Billy. I promise.
God. You can't see the look on his face right now, but it's like some sort of childish, I'm in a toy shop kind of glee mixed with the sadism of a psychotic killer. It's great.
No, it was a fun writing sesh. Hopefully I'm not gonna mess it up, but at least I had fun writing all of this, even though I'm not gonna do it the way I wrote it. But hey ho, hey.
Maybe the true friends was the writing we made along the way.
Oh, true. Oh, that's so cute.
Or something.
So, cults. So when you think about cults, right, you think about this bizarre, weird, dangerous sort of phenomenon, right? Like Heaven's Gate. You heard of Heaven's Gate?
Yes, that's the one with the video with the spooky-looking guy.
No, Heaven's Gate is an American cult that they all mass killed themselves in 1997.
Oh.
Or you think of more on the Japanese side, which is Anu Shariku.
Oh, Shinrikyo, yes.
I'm Shirikyu. I watched videos how to pronounce it.
Yeah.
It did not stick with me. But he pumped gas in the metro in Tokyo in 1995.
Yeah, it was nerve gas, wasn't it?
It was. Yeah. It was. He tried twice. He got caught. Went to jail. We're not talking about that sort of cults today.
No?
We're talking about the bigger picture. And yeah, there's going to be some murder later down the line.
It wouldn't be a good story about cults.
I love that we from the beginning we know this episode's not going to be more about it because you said fuck 3 times already. That was 4th time, and we said murder twice, 3rd time actually now. But hey ho, let's have fun. So the word cult initially, where it comes from Rome, cultus, which basically means a small elite group developed of worshiping particular deities.
All right.
So cult was never looked down upon as being a bad thing the way we look at it today. So historically, you would look at cults as a fan club for a certain deity.
Yeah.
So that's what it was, right? So because there were so many gods and all this culture worshipped multiple gods. Then there was a certain elite group that was worshipping just one god, right? There's stories there. The Dionysus parties went really crazy. Dionysus being from Greek, but again, we're not talking about that. Go on.
It's just a shame because I've heard some really interesting stories about the cults of certain gods in Rome.
You cannot talk about that. it's gonna be.
Oh yeah, that's like an instant 18 plus on your video there.
So let's not do the 18 plus videos because and not until we get our OnlyFeed accounts and
yeah. Think if for a broad picture for those who are interested, think those lesbian nunneries that came up in the 70s and the 80s, where all the nuns just were like, oh wait, we're actually just gay. It's kind of like that, but also around a Greek god.
Wow, my dude, you're literally watching the completely different things that I watch on the internet. I'm just putting it out there. I thought the first part of this video is gonna be serious, but clearly it's not gonna be.
It's
serious.
me, dude. No, there's no. I can't do that.
So just to look at it from a different perspective, Christianity itself initially was a cult.
Yes.
Before Christianity, there was Judaism. Judaism still exists as a religion, as we have the Jewish religion. But Christianity was a cult to begin with, and they were vastly persecuted until an emperor from Rome decided to say, okay, they're my religion now, so everybody has to worship it. And they divided into 5 different popes at one point, and then just the one main pope in Rome stayed behind because of intrigue. And actually that would be a great video, the making of Christianity. It's phenomenal.
To be fair, it's a very interesting story, and there was a lot of popes who were sort of like the first recorded popes were all guys who were hiding underground in underground shelters to hide from the Roman army, basically.
But again, they morphed it, they changed it, and then Christianity got divided multiple times, 3 times to be more precise.
Yeah, I can think of 3.
Well, it's just 3 because they divided between it was the Catholics or Orthodox because they couldn't agree, and then there was the Protestants which couldn't agree with the Catholics, and that actually went into an actual war because it was the Holy Roman Empire that there were princes of the Holy Empire, there were Protestants and princes that were Catholics, and then they all went out for a war. Catholics won for some reason.
Because there's a lot more of them, probably.
Well, I think so, because if you look at...
Unless you're in England, where the Protestants most definitely won. They won so hard they got rid of the king.
North of Europe, it's mostly Protestants. So, as England, mostly Protestants. So
that's basically because one of our kings wanted a divorce, though. Let's
that's true. All right, let's...
Such a dumb reason to start.
I actually wrote a story about one specific cult that turned religion. And I think you will like it. I like the story of it because it's ridiculous. Have you ever heard of Mormons?
Yes.
Have you?
Yes.
Oh, you're too excited for this.
Oh.
So, story of the Mormons. Imagine this.
Are you saying that the Great Mormon religion is a cult?
It was a cult.
Yeah.
It's considered a religion. Okay, imagine this. The year is 1820. Right?
So everything smells like, cow shit and horse shit. There's no doctors. If you get a slight infection, you're probably going to die because a doctor will put leeches on it.
Joseph Smith got visited by an angel.
Oh, really?
And with his help, he found a golden book in the wilderness.
Really?
Yes. And he took this golden book, and within 90 days, he managed to translate it because it was written in Reformed Egyptian. And after he translated the book, he gave it back to the angel.
Just out of interest, Reformed Egyptian? What is that? Is that
it doesn't exist.
Okay. So
he made it up.
How did Joseph Smith learn how to speak Reformed Egyptian?
No, he didn't learn how to speak Reformed Egyptian. He had a rock that helped him.
Oh, I see.
So the rock helped him. And then he gave the book back. Wait, just
was that a Rosetta Stone?
Well, it might have been her.
Is that where the term comes from?
No, the Rosetta Stone was found a bit later in Egypt, right?
Oh,
because
right.
what the Rosetta Stone is, it's basically a manifesto in 3 different languages. So it's the same thing written in 3 different languages. That's why the Rosetta Stone managed to help everybody translate so many languages.
That makes sense. So that's why they
I'm
gave
surprised
the
you didn't know that.
No,
I thought that's common knowledge.
Hey, it's not one of those things that I know for some reason.
Well, I'm super surprised, right? Then he published it, all 588 pages of it, called the Book of Mormon. And then he also founded at the same time a new cult at that point. Well, it wasn't considered a cult, but it was a cult because you didn't have the terminology of cult back then.
No, you didn't actually.
So he made the Latter-day Saints, which is the name of the religion, not the Book of Mormon being the book itself called the Book of Mormon. So then John Smith got a lot of critiques, but initially had about 10,000 followers to begin with.
10,000, that's pretty big.
It's a lot. You'll see this further on when we talk about other things. You only need one charismatic leader. And that kind of makes the movement go. But I want to go back to that in a minute.
Was it founded in Salt Lake City, or did it?
No, New York.
Really?
It got founded in New York.
That's wild. They had to run away from the government long way.
I actually wrote down his path. So am I jumping? Well, we can come back to it. So his path, the way he's travels through the Americas was. He was in New York, then he ran to Ohio, then he ran to Missouri, and then he settled in Illinois where he died. Funny enough, you know how he died?
How did he die?
By angry mob.
Really?
Yeah, because as I said, for the amount of followers he had the same amount of haters. So that didn't help, right?
I imagine not.
Yeah. Do you know exactly what the Book of Mormon says?
I know that it says something about... I know two things about Mormonism overall. Magical underpants and many wives. That's the two bits I know, because they're the only bits.
Funny enough, that's the two things I did not look into. So,
but those are the two most interesting things, Andrei.
No, it isn't. There's a third thing. If you say those are the most interesting two things, there's an even more interesting thing.
Ooh.
So basically, what it is, you know, when there was a mass migration of Jews to Jerusalem, a group of them didn't stop, so they went all the way through Asia and ended up in America. So they went the other way and ended up in America, in South America to be more exact. And there was another two groups from the same region that migrated there. They all fought with each other for some reason, and then this golden book, which was the Book of Mormon, got written within the fighting. Right, I'm just shorting it. It's like a lot.
I imagine there's lots of long, detailed names and
things that really don't make sense, and there's no point of them making sense. So I just keeping it short. They fought. Book of Mormon got written. They hid the book, and that's how the book got to.
Right, because a group of Jews came over the Bering Strait.
Yeah, no, 3 groups of Jews.
3 groups of Jews,
and they all fight. And then one of the group of Jews abandoned God. On top of everything.
Right, because I remember hearing something really racist from like a Mormon thing once, like that black people were essentially like had people who turned against God at some point in the past.
Dude, it might be written in there, but I didn't want to go too much into it because I thought I'm gonna be there forever.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because it kept on having more layers. It was like an onion. So I thought, okay, let's just take the funny things out of it. So all the fighting happened, and then at the same time, in Israel, they killed Jesus Christ.
Ah.
And then after Jesus Christ got killed, he got resurrected. He spent 40 days on earth to teach all his teachings to everyone. And then he ascended to God. And so, right after he descended in America.
Right, okay. So just to get this straight, right after Jesus appears before the apostles and like goes, hey, I'm actually like not dead at all. Look, I've actually risen and become blah, blah, blah. Yeah. After that, he goes, hang on, boys, one sec. I just need to go to the States.
No. He finished his work in Jerusalem. He finished everything there. He was done. He was like, all right, boys, I'm out. See you later, alligator.
And then goes to the States?
Well, he ascends, and then he descends.
Oh, I see.
It's literally written like that.
So he jumped.
He basically,
like Mario.
He went, he's like, hey, Dad, I'm actually stepping out for another minute.
Oh, sorry, shit, wait, I forgot to get milk. I'm going back to America.
No, he's like, oh, no, I forgot. I have another group of followers. Let me go talk to them as well. And then he descended, and he was in America.
Right.
He taught them everything, and then he left. He was like, peace out. We're done.
So did Joseph Smith meet Jesus at any point? Or
No, he never met Jesus.
Never appeared.
So this happened at the same time. So if you look in the current calendar, it will be in 1 BC.
Yeah.
No, AD.
180.
180. So that's when everything happened, right? And then after they managed to kill Mr. Smith. I like calling him Mr. Smith. I called him like 5 times Mr. Smith in here.
No, I like it as well.
The movement kept going, and they kept doing their things. They isolated themselves. They moved a few times. They had a few different leaders. They were kind of charismatic. That's why they kept on going. And so basically, a cult that kept on giving.
Yeah, I mean, 10,000 people is a lot of people to choose from.
Well, do you know how many Mormons are out there right now?
Gonna go with a few 100,000? No?
No, going to millions.
Millions?
Going to millions.
3 million?
Going up.
4?
Up.
5.
More.
7.
More.
10.
More.
Fuck me. 19.
very close, 18 million.
Oh, Jesus. That's a lot of Mormons,
It's
man.
a lot of Mormons.
I did not realize there were that many.
It's such a massive movement, right? It's a religion at this point.
Yeah.
It's
sure, in terms of size, not
Yeah.
in terms of belief, it's not any more stupid than most other religions.
I mean, it's like there's nothing you can say. And so cult itself, the cult that we know, the word that we know nowadays, which is not it doesn't have that same original meaning, just a small elite group, because most of the people we're gonna talk about in a minute, they're not elite. They are small people, but they're not elite people. So the word cult, in the way we think of it today, it got founded in 1950, just in time for Scientology. Funny enough, to do a reference to the past.
That's perfect.
So it started with the Korean War and with propaganda.
Ah, really?
Yeah, so also to the same word, the word brainwashing, well, two words. Brainwashing started to be at the same when you were saying cult, you were saying brainwashing.
Yes, because that's when the CIA was starting to get funky with like mushrooms and things.
They got funky with mushroom things, and it was all to answer one question. Do you know what question that was?
How to control the minds of people, something like that?
It's a lot simpler than that. I'll give you another guess and then I'll tell you what it is, because we're going to be here all day.
Why did Jesus bring the pork chops?
No, that's a good question.
It is a good question.
And he wouldn't be eating pork because he was Jewish.
No.
By the way, the question was, why would anyone become communist?
Ah.
You see, propaganda, brainwashing, because they thought communists brainwashes people.
That's true. People still...
Because it was the Korean War, and the Korean War, you know how they split the country up and all that kind of things. So it all had one to do with each other, so they built the idea of cults. Like one of the first actual cults, it was it's still around. It's kind of considered a religion, but it was a cult. You remember that time when there was a whole bunch of Koreans getting married to each other at the same time?
Yeah, the Moonies.
That was the first cult.
Yeah, really?
That was the first one that fell into the category of cult and was properly categorized as cult.
I knew it was old. I didn't realize it went back to the Korean War.
Yeah, it was that back. But that was the first sort of incident, like, it was...
Yeah, because a bunch of like other new terms sort of sprung up around the same time, like cult of personality. You know, like that became like a big propaganda thing. It's just like, Stalin has a cult of personality, like built around him by the state.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that. Wow. I didn't really think the word was that recent, but there you go.
It's the word's not recent, but like the meaning is very recent.
Of it, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So the next sort of exercise we're gonna do today, Billy.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a much longer conversation, but let's just keep it short and sweet. What's the difference between a cult and a religion?
Size?
Not really, because there's religions that are quite tiny. And if you look at the first three, so now if you play sort of the devil's advocate kind of situation, right? And the first one would be a charismatic leader.
Right.
Like, for example, Aaron Hubbard.
Yeah.
I really hate that man, so I have to put him in all my videos.
Have you ever heard him speak?
It's horrible.
He has such an insane sounding voice. He sounds like a weird British theatre, like, lovey.
But here's the thing, because if you would play the devil advocate on the same conversation, Jesus Christ would be the same sort of charismatic leader.
He was a very charismatic guy.
You'll see sort of probably Jesus Christ were writing better books, but that's again another.
That's true. Could Jesus even read? I don't even know if
I think he would. He's a carpenter. He will need to be reading.
Well, he might be able to read numbers, but does he need you need numbers for measurements and stuff? But doing did he ever learn to read?
I think so. I wouldn't know. I never met the man.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't know what literacy was like in 0 BC Judea or whatever, but
probably not that high.
Probably not high.
And they would probably speak a lot of Latin, right? Because of the Romans being there.
The Romans would have. I'm not sure what the Jewish population would have been speaking at the time, because it wouldn't be modern Hebrew.
No, it wouldn't.
Modern Hebrew is kind of a reconstructed language. It's weird.
But in any case, what would be the second thing that you would need there?
Some sort of isolation, like
rigorous social norms. You're very close. It's
close
there.
Enough, yeah.
So you when you say rigorous social norms, you think in the idea of you can't ever text your friends. You can't get a job. You can't be there. You can't do this.
Yeah, it's like a depowering of the individual.
So
sort of
basically, priests and nuns.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I'm just making a comparison here, just playing the devil's advocate.
No,
This makes sense, right? Makes sense. And then the third one will be exploitation of people, which give me all your money. Not in
the church has never done, ever.
Exactly, because you would find the same thing, and there's what they're called, the big American churches.
Oh, the mega churches.
The mega church, the evangelist, something.
Evangelical, yeah.
Those guys, the worst of the humankind.
Oh god, yeah. Like,
so
if you wanted to like make a decent argument that there are demons who literally like wear human skin and walk around on the planet Earth, show me a couple of those megachurch guys and I believe you.
Yeah.
You know, those people are not real.
They're not real.
They're uncanny people.
Yeah, they're not for this planet.
No.
So you could say that the beginning of everything was a cult.
Yeah.
And then more people accepted that, and then people close their eyes as soon as a big group says, "Oh, this is okay," everything's okay. So yeah. Basically, what I'm saying, religion is a cult. If you are religious, I am so sorry for saying it. Hope you're not gonna hate me. If you do hate me, write in the comments. I would love to argue with someone.
Yes, please, like, let's do some religion debates. Let's do some, like, should we bring back the flat Earth and evolutionary stuff? That'd be great.
Well, but we don't know enough people that are flat earthers.
That's true.
I know one guy, like, that he's an actual really decent human being, and I really respect him. But he constantly, when we have a conversation about it, he says, "Well, how can you prove it's not?" And I'm like, "This is
with two sticks, dude. Like, you can prove the Earth is round with 2 sticks.
Yeah, but
2 sticks and a plane ticket.
But then he brings maybe it's just in your head, and I'm like, okay, cool. Just leave it. You're a nice guy. I really like you. Just let's stop talking about that.
Have you given him the 2 sticks argument? Try that,
dude. I tried everything. So but I thought, you know what, dude. I really like you.
I'm just gonna leave you to your insanity.
Yeah, you're still a great guy. I still want to have a pint with you now and again. You know what I mean? Like, it's like no point trying to convince people something different.
Would flat earthers just, like, you know, count as a cult at this point? I mean, I suppose there's no charismatic leader.
No, because flat earthers, it's more of a conspiracy built thing.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be in the idea that we think of a cult now, like the definition in the word.
You know what's interesting, like, as a point of comparison though, QAnon, right? Remember QAnon from back in like 2020 or whatever?
No.
Right. So basics, like, you know, basic outline. A while ago, I'm not sure if it was 4chan or 8chan or some sort of despicable website for lowlifes and perverts.
4chan? No, don't talk nasty about 4chan.
Dude, I will. You seen what those people do? Anyway, I believe it might have been 8chan, but whatever. There was this guy who called himself Q, who was releasing documents about how the government was going to, like, the shadow government, the deep state, was, like, actually running the country. And any minute now, Trump was going to flip over a bunch of tables and go, right, I'm rounding all the shadow government up, you're all going to jail, and then all of a sudden, you know, black people will stop existing. Something like that. That's QAnon. Okay. It's insane, like, internet conspiracy shit.
Yeah.
But it's all centered around Donald Trump being, like, the reincarnation of Jesus Christ, kind of. And, like, this fervent worship of this guy called Q, who, like, didn't really give much information about himself. He was just an anonymous poster, like everybody else.
Yeah.
But he was, like, an anonymous, but he also sort of made himself an idea. Whoever it was who was, like, in charge of this, if it was one person, it might have been a whole bunch of people. Because it's the internet, who knows? So we don't know who this Q guy is. They said he's like some sort of deep state insider who knows what's going to happen, and he's aware of the plan.
Okay.
But he just stopped posting after January 6th, 2021.
They got him then.
Oh, they must have. Like, that's the speculation.
No, they definitely got him.
No, they didn't get him. He's too smart for that, you see. He's aware of the plan. And if he's aware of the plan, that means, like, he has some escape routes. Q's still out there.
So it wasn't the plan that he will disappear at some point.
He was probably in his plan that he got caught.
No.
You know? That's how the best way to get inside a prison, man. You get caught. If it worked for the Joker, you know? But that's the level of, like, you know, it's interesting because that's kind of a cult. Because there's a huge following of, like, QAnon people. They've got, like, a phrase and everything. They've got mantras. But Q, nobody knows who he is. Nobody knows what he is. You know, he could have been just, like,
well, you know, you might have been just a group of people.
Yeah, it could have been, like, a bunch. I mean, it doesn't take a lot to type -Q at the end of your blog post. You know? It doesn't take a lot.
Like, definitely. If you would have an account, you could have been a big group. all of them posting different stuff at the same time, just mess with people.
To be fair, that's what I'd do, you know.
if you're planning to mess with people,
if I wanted to, like, you know, cause societal outrage and upheaval for no other reason than for lols, then that's exactly what I'd do.
That's true.
I'm surprised there hasn't been another one yet. I mean, maybe Trump hasn't been around long enough this time, but, you know, give it a few more years.
Oh, just there's another 3.5 years of this. It's only been half a year.
I know, right?
It's only been half a year.
It's wild. It feels. What's that old Lenin quote? There are decades in which weeks happen and weeks in which decades happen.
Yeah, pretty much.
This is one of those times, man.
It feels like it didn't stop yet.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's only just ramping up. Did you see the news today?
No, haven't.
2,000 National Guardsmen are being ordered by Trump to go into California to arrest some people throwing rocks at ICE, basically.
I mean, probably ICE deserved that. Moving on.
Oh, yeah, they did.
Moving on. So, let's talk about a few cults.
Yay!
And we're playing a game. If anybody was waited for this game till the beginning of the video, this is the game.
It's a game show.
It's a game show, but it's not as fun because I'm gonna just tell you stories.
I'm gonna insert, like, let's make a little note here to insert, like, theme shop game show music just right here. Like,
not gonna happen.
Fine, I'll do it myself.
Just tag myself.
Andrei's just like making gun motions next to his head. I thought it was great. Anyway, let's start. Let's play. What's that cult?
Or is it a cult?
Or is it a cult?
Or is it a cult? Okay.
So
the idea of the game is I'll tell you a whole story. You can intervene, have your little comments in there. But I'll just want to finish reading the whole story. I went overboard on the first one because I found it hilarious. And then the next two of them, they're gonna be slightly shorter, so we kept it short and sweet because I thought this was too much.
And my job is to determine whether this is real or some shit you made up.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Okay. First story starts in Brazil. An Instagram model. Things going very well for her at this point. She been in magazines. She modeled in a couple of countries. So she decided all of a sudden to move to the United States. It's the only logical thing to do next.
Yeah.
So she moved to New York City. She said, I'll be an influencer in New York City because I'm already a model, already beautiful, already did this, already did that.
My hair is, as they say, on fleek.
Yeah. She is a blonde as well. So, you know. So as I said, she became an Instagram follower. Because of her being a model already and being in magazines, she really quickly got 1 million followers on Instagram.
Yep, that's how Instagram works.
Yeah, pretty much. Because obviously, who's on Instagram? A bunch of weirdos following models, so it will always work.
Fun story. A friend of mine once tried to start a fitness like sort of Instagram, and they asked me to help manage it, like to help manage the Instagram. You would not believe how many like just random dick pics you get sent if you're a fitness model.
I would not be surprised.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. I just started fucking with them in the end. I was just
like what? Like literally fucking with them?
No. Okay. I just started like, you know, leading them on and then like pretending I was trying to scam them. It was really funny. I wanted to see if any of them were dumb enough to give up their bank details, but apparently even the idiots on Instagram sending dick pics are not that stupid.
Oh, because the banks nowadays actually tell you to stop giving away bank details, man.
They remind you all the time. It's just like, hey, dumbass, don't give out your PIN number. Like, okay.
So after a bit of time passes by, and all of a sudden she decides to do advice content and coaching videos, because you know she's already famous. She has 1 million followers on Instagram, and because she is spiritually gifted and also a witch that can curse you.
A witch?
She's a witch and she's spiritually gifted, so she can talk with divine voices that only she can hear.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm intrigued by this Brazilian model turned influencer turned speaker to the gods.
At around her age of 25, she writes an autobiography at 25, which was actually popular and people enjoyed reading her book because, you know, she's an Instagram model, also
real model, yeah.
Yeah, so people buy her book. Also, allegedly, they did Leonardo DiCaprio, which I think is the biggest BS about the whole story, because she's 25. She's too old for him.
Yeah.
So that could never happen. But hey, it's in there saying that she dated Leonardo DiCaprio. So what's the next logical step in her career?
Get domestically abused by Johnny Depp.
No. She decides to make a website so she can actually charge people for her advice. You can't just give free advice. You have to charge people, and because, there are topics on there like how to get wealth, how to get the perfect man of your dreams, and other BS crap like that people
usual stuff
really enjoy. Moving time forwards, it's 2019. Yay! And one of her followers.
Everything got significantly worse.
Yeah. So one of her followers, let's call her Anna.
Mm-hmm.
One of her followers. The only reason she's the only character in my story that has a name is because she has importance later on. So Anna watches her online, and she's like, "Oh, she's so great! I need to be so close to her because she's so phenomenal. So look at all those pictures. Look how beautiful she is." So she moves to New York City from another state in the United States. Right?
Bumfuck Michigan or something.
Somewhere which was less good than New York City.
Which is most of America.
Which is most of America. That's not my story, Billy. Stop interrupting.
Sorry.
Okay. So, because she's so great, she moves in with her. But all of a sudden, when she gets there, actually she's extremely messy. The whole house is destroyed. Apparently, she's a hoarder as well. So the worst kind of human. So
that's a bit harsh on hoarders, man. Come on.
Sorry.
I mean, compared to Republicans, they're probably
no, they're probably on the same level.
I wouldn't say hoarders are that bad.
So she's a massive slob, to say the least, and she becomes her assistant. And a few months pass by. She becomes really abusive. She lets her sleep just a couple of hours a night, and she does sleep. She sleeps on a couch which is filled of cat urine.
Ooh.
And which is a horrible thing. And then she's like, you know what? Fuck this. She just leaves. She's like, I do not have to deal with all of this manipulative crap. So she noticed, this actually worked. So what she decides to do? She moves into Austin, Texas, and buys a house.
Right.
So she buys a house and starts messaging people from her little niche group of 1 million people, being like, "Hi, how about you come move in with us and live with me, and I can help you with your life." And a lot of people, they're like, "No, what's wrong with you?" But there were 3 that actually took the bait.
Only 3?
2 Brazilian and 1 German.
Righty-ho.
And they all moved into Austin, Texas with this girl in the house. A little bit of time passes by. She becomes extremely abusive. She takes one of the girls up in her room, sets up the tarot card deck, and does her magic mumbo-jumbo witch, because she is a witch.
Well, just reading tarot cards does not a witch make so.
Well, I've
got tarot cards, I can read tarot cards.
So are you a witch?
No, I just raised by hippies, dude.
Oh, fair enough. So she does her whole tarot stuff and lets her know that she needs to become a dancer. Gentleman's club dancer.
Oh, really?
Not just a dancer, a gentleman's club dancer. And of course, she doesn't see any of the money, because she goes and she does it, and she doesn't see any of this money, because all that money she keeps, because she owes her board and the flights that got her there.
Of course.
And then all of a sudden she starts putting new rules in, like they can't talk to each other ever.
Really?
They can't leave their rooms without permission, even if they need to go to the toilet. So they need to have permission to leave their rooms. One of the girls are like, fuck this, and she leaves. She's like, I am absolutely done with this. And she goes on, does her life, and that's when it becomes even worse.
Oh god.
Because it's not enough to ask the girls to dance. They need to become escorts. And of course, she becomes their pimp.
Yeah. Well.
And she makes them quotas of how much money they have to earn in order to sleep in the house.
Wow.
Because otherwise, they will have to sleep just outside. Because, you didn't make enough money for her.
That's really, really sinister.
Yeah, it's really, really bad. There's an up story. There's a up to the story.
She got arrested?
So... this is 2022.
Really? So she's been doing this for 3 years?
So, well, she's been doing it technically for 4.
Yeah, including the other one, yeah.
Yeah. So, well, these 2 girls that were trapped in this sort of bubble, they still have families back home, and they're like, what happened to them for 3 years? I have 4 years. Haven't heard anything from them. So they go to the police station, and they declare them missing for the first time.
Oh, fucking finally.
It took them 4 years. Like, this is, I don't understand. After 4 years, they decide to actually...
What the fuck? They didn't call the police for 4 years?
For 4 years.
If I was those girls, I'd be, like, genuinely offended. It's just
a
like...
A little bit. I mean, I had to dance, I had to be an escort, and then you decide to call the police?
Yeah, sorry, while I was getting, like, my mind and, like, soul completely destroyed by, you know, the depravity of working for this woman... You were just like, should we call the police? I don't know, I like the quiet. Yeah, we could use her room to, like, put that exercise bike I've always wanted. Jesus Christ, family.
So how did she get caught? You ready?
Sniffer dogs.
No, not sniffer dogs.
Oh.
So the 2 girls get called in the police station, and she decides to join them.
Oh, okay.
And the police arrest her and put her in jail for 8 years. She got convicted. You ready for this?
Oh, yeah, that's...
Slavery.
Really?
This is 2022, and somebody got convicted for slavery. I didn't even know you can still convict people for slavery.
You can still get convicted for slavery, yeah. It's a thing. I think my dad heard some story when he was over there in the 90s.
I thought you were going to say your dad got convicted for slavery, because I was like, Billy, we need to talk about that.
Yeah. No, that's not how it was. But no, my dad was, like, driving through Louisiana in a pickup truck with my mum in, like, it must have been 1990, 91. Yeah, they were driving through Louisiana, and, like, they stopped at, like, to get gas or whatever, and, like, the paper was like, oh yes, like, entire family arrested for owning 30 people, like, in the middle of a swamp somewhere.
I remember you telling the story.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've told you the story before, but yeah, they were just, like, they had this big shack in the middle of the fucking nowhere swamp of Louisiana, which is big. There's a lot of swamp there.
Yeah.
You know, you could just get lost in that shit. So if you have a house there and you just dig a basement, you can just keep as many, you know, random homeless people as you want.
Fuck, man.
That only got found out because a homeless guy who was an ex-army vet was in there. He managed to break out and, like, you know, sort of sprint, you know, naked through the swamp until the police, you know, came along.
Wow. America's weird, man.
It's fucking strange. There's so much strangeness to go.
So now the question is, Billy,
is this real?
Is this real, or did I make it up?
Honestly, it sounds pretty real. Like, I've heard of these, like, sort of micro cults popping up, like, because of social media quite a lot.
So is it real, or did I make it up, Billy?
I'm going to go it's real.
Yes, it is.
Hey!
Her name is Kat Torres. Look her up.
I have heard that name before. That's
She's
why you didn't name.
Horrible. Oh, I'm not going to name anybody in this video.
Besides the criminals, obviously, the ones that we know.
Yeah. And the girl, Anna, her name wasn't Anna.
Yeah.
Just
No, Kat Torres, I remember that name. That's wild.
Yeah. Because it's so recent, and it was the only person that got convicted for slavery in the last 20 years, Billy. It's like, that's what blew my mind, and that's why I got sort of gravitated towards this story, because I thought this is so weird.
No, I think that's the perfect kind of, because like, everyone knows the big, like, cults, but no one thinks about, like, the small sort of...
Yeah.
Like,
but there's a lot of small ones. Like, I had a whole list that I could choose from. So, like, I have a few of them in the background.
Have you got the Center for Political Innovation there? Because
no, I do not have that one.
That's a fun cult story.
I tried to go into different countries, but I still gravitated to America twice.
America has the best, like, variety of cults. I will say that.
Yeah, they do. They have a good flavor to them.
Yeah, they do. What have we got over here? 2 tribes, fucking boring people. They're just like,
just can you get them more inventive, please?
Yeah, like, oh yeah, just give us your money for God. Like, okay, great. You know, come up, you know, whip some people on the penis with, like, you know, a piece of pampas grass or something.
We're never gonna get monetized for that. You can't say shit like that.
Fuck capitalism. I don't need money. Anyway, next one. As I got 1 point. I have 1 point on the board so far.
Imagine this. Uganda, 1989.
Right.
2 people have seen the Virgin Mary.
Really?
Yes. 2 in the same village in Uganda.
Interesting.
Yeah. So what one does when sees the Virgin Mary, let's say it all together now, start a movement.
Oh, okay. I was going to go with something else, but
So
I was like, piss, blood, shit yourself. I don't know.
Something else, yeah. But no, they started a movement within the small village. They accepted donations.
Oh,
Well, of
that's
course.
good. Yeah,
you have to accept donations.
Need to keep the revolution spinning, brother.
You ask me, Billy, what is this movement focusing on? And it's focusing on the 10 Commandments.
Oh, okay.
Quite literally. So, as an example, no talking. So the 9 Commandments says, "Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor." So they just decided to just complete silence.
Oh,
because they were really afraid of talking.
I was going to say, okay, that's obviously fake bullshit, but then I thought, actually, no, there was loads of monks that took vows of silence back in the day, because to speak is an affront to God.
So also fasting, no sex, and all that kind of BS, because they took everything quite literal.
Right.
So what does one good cult needs to have? The really good cults really have this.
Charismatic leader who's like on ecstasy.
No, an apocalyptic day.
When
does the world end? And in their case, the world ends on December 31st, 1999.
Oh wait, it's a Y2K cult?
It's a Y2K.
Oh, awesome.
So the cult started in 1989, so 10 years later the world's ending, which is hilarious, because, you only had 10 years.
Yeah, you got 10 years, what are you going to do? Not fuck the entire time? Oh yeah, great idea. Thanks, Steve. This is why we keep you in the cupboard, Steve.
So guess what didn't happen?
What didn't happen?
The world didn't end.
Funnily enough, we're sat here, yeah.
So most of them left after the world didn't end, because obviously you're in for the fun. You're like, the world's gonna end. Let's go. Let's end this.
Yeah,
and
let's
it's gonna be
not do the things that you would normally do if you thought the world was ending.
Yeah, exactly. So we all been abstinent for so long. We didn't talk to each other for 10 years.
I wonder how many
leave.
babies in Uganda were created on the 1st of January 2000 when all these guys went back to their villages and were just like, all right, it's been 10 years, who wants a fucking I've got 10 years of build up here, this is going to be explosive and you have to see this, come on, come one, come all.
Obviously, everybody asked for their money back and all that. And
did they get their money back?
I do not know, because it wasn't specified. It is Uganda. I don't think they track this sort of things really well, but this was one of the things that people like, give me my money back. So what does a good movement do when the end of the world doesn't end?
They make up another date.
Exactly.
Hey!
Which was March 17th, 2000. So basically 3 months later.
They're not good at this, are they?
But if the world doesn't come to an end for us, if the apocalypse doesn't come to us, we go to the apocalypse, because that's how it works.
Of course.
So they will start to celebrating, because it's the end of the world. You need to have one big party. So all the members gathered in Uganda, in the south, in a town called Kanungu. Probably saying it wrong.
I couldn't pronounce it. I think
it says Kanungu. As soon as all the members went in, all the windows and doors got boarded up. And outside of the building, massive explosion. The whole building caught fire and 530 people died.
Holy shit.
That ramped up, didn't it?
Yeah, that came out of fucking nowhere. I was expecting they would all do a silly dance or crucify themselves or something.
So a few days prior to the event that happened, one of the charismatic leaders from the group, there's 5 of them, one of them was seen buying sulfuric acid, which is assumed why the explosion happened. And because, you explode sulfuric acid, you have even more casualties because of it. So altogether, 924 casualties.
Jesus, that's like dead and injured, right?
Funny enough, all church leaders are still free to this day.
Really?
Yeah. Did I make it up, or is it real?
You see, this one is a lot less real than the other one.
No, is it?
I don't know, because I don't think that you'd just make up a story and put it in Uganda. Although you did say something that sort of contradicted itself, and I'm like, maybe this is just because religion and cults make no sense. But so they're a fasting cult that abstains from sex and drinking and all that stuff. But they're going to have a big party at the end of the world, and people actually showed up to that? I don't know. That's suspicious, my man.
So, Billy, did I make it up, or is it real?
I wish you could see Andrei's face right now. He's grinning like the fucking Joker. He's having the best time. I'm going to say fake.
It's real. It's called Movement of the Restoration of the Ten Commandments.
I've never heard of that. That is a unique one for me.
The names are really hard to say, so bear with me. You can pause it. Well, you can skip ahead about a few seconds. The first name, it's one lady. She's called Credinia Maurindi, and then his name is Joseph Kibwetere. So just if you're back, welcome back. That was really hard. So yeah, it happened in South Uganda in 1980.
Jesus, as if Uganda didn't have enough problems enough in the 1980s. Idi Amin running around.
It's just ridiculous. Like the whole cult itself, it's absolutely ridiculous. And the 5 leaders, so 3 of them they're known, and then 2 of them they were like sort of not really known, and they all just vanished. So basically, they killed everyone because they wanted to keep the money. Right. That makes sense. Yeah, I suppose, like, to be fair, if I pissed off like 1,000 or so people and they were like coming after me demanding their money back, I'd blow them up too. Like, that makes sense. It's just self-defense at that point. So the last one I kept it really short because I thought time's not going to be in our favor. Time is never in our favor, my friend. It's always moving forward. You find yourself living in New York City and decide to join a self-development group. Okay. Self-development, right. Self-development group. So you feel like I'm a little bit down. I think I can improve myself. So I'm going to start a self-development group. But if you are a woman, you can get to join the secret part of the self-development group, right? So it was a second level and it was a secret. Does this does the self-help and then self-improvement involve? So no, the if you did join the level 2, the secret development group, it was all about abuse. You were being abused daily. It would be horrible. You've been beaten every day. You would have been in the worst state of your life. So horrific sex crimes, yes. Yeah, pretty much. Yes. Is there any kind of cult that doesn't end up with horrific sex crimes? I've never found one. So, this charismatic leader comes to you and convinces you the only way for all this burden to not be on you, you need to recruit new women in the group. Because then all the abuse will be transferred to somebody else. I see. And also, the reason he can convince you is because he has superhuman sperm that will heal you as a woman. Okay. So it's basically a man with superhuman sperm that build a pyramid scheme. How do you tell? How can you tell if your sperm is superhuman? What does it talk to you? Does it like demonstrate advanced intelligence? Dude, it's superhuman sperm. How? How does this work? I want diagrams, Andrei. It heals them. It heals them. Is this like, like taking stem cells to the logical extreme and just jizzing on people? Is that what this is? It's similar. So in order for the burden to be passed, it has to be passed to them. So you have to enroll women in this sort of pyramid scheme. Oh, Andrew Tate did something similar, yeah? Because, stuff like that. So how do you keep everything secret? Kill a bunch of people who know things? No, it's just blackmails and false confessions. So you need to sell nudes. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. So this man got caught. Did he? Doing all of this, even though he kept all his confessions and his nude. And he got caught in 2019, and he was convicted for 120 years. Jesus, is that one of those like consecutive sentences things? It's just he did a lot more worse things in the whole scheme of things, so he got 120 years. I like that about the court system. It's like, oh, you've done enough crime for like 4 lifetimes in prison, so we're just going to give you 4 human lifetimes and just make sure he never gets out. Yeah, just make sure that you die. If he overturns one of the lifetimes, he still has 3 more to go. That's the thing. Even if you get found innocent of one thing, it's like, oh, well, here's like the 18 other things. You're staying in prison. So, as I said, I kept the last one really short because I knew the time's not going to be in our favor. Did I make it up? That one, I believe I remember. I remember from something like around 29. So I think that's real. It is real. Hey! It's called Nexium. Nexia, of course. Yes, I remember that. Was that the one that kind of looked like Keith Rainier and Alison Mark. Other details that I kept out because I thought you're going to actually get it is he marked every single woman with their initials, K and A. Yes. Because there was 2 of them. Did he brand it or did he tattoo? Women. He branded women. So it's... Oh, that's bad. So that's 2 2-1 for you.
That's
Billy.
2-1 for me. I honestly, I shouldn't have. I should have thought there was like they were all going to be real. The second you said, "Well, some of them I made up," had a little fun writing project.
I actually did.
Did you?
I have it in the back burner. I don't have it written on this one, but I have it in the back burner. Basically, I wrote a cult around Warhammer 40k, as in how is Warhammer 40k board game a cult? Because it is a cult.
That works, to be fair. I mean, you got to give all your money to Games Workshop to play
Pretty
it.
much, exactly. So I wrote it down, and I'm like, I'm not gonna have time for that because I went a little bit. I wrote a page and a half on it, and then I'm like, oh, this is gonna be painful for me to read back to people.
You got way too into it, and you're just like,
I'm gonna show people how much of a nerd I am. I should hide my nerdness a little bit.
Can you imagine like going to a Games Workshop and the guy trying to recruit you into a cult, like just like this?
Dude, I will give him my money.
Well,
sitting next to me, I have about 200 pounds worth of figurines.
Oh, do you actually?
Yeah, in this box.
Oh wow, in that box you're literally sat right next. Okay.
Yeah. I have all the colors. I pulled up a piece of this. I'm I have issues.
That's cool. That's fine.
Is it cool?
I'm just thinking like, you know, of you going into Games Workshop one day and then there's like specky man who's like, you know, painting something very delicately with a jeweler's eye, like, you know.
don't need a jeweler's eye for that.
Well, if you want to be good.
Dry brush. Anyway. Well, it was fun playing with you, Billy. Congratulations, you won.
What's the prize?
Sunday roast. I'm just cooking it.
Oh, cheers, dude.
Yeah, yay. Well,
have good friends who make you like roast dinners when you have hangover days, ladies and gentlemen. That's the lesson of this podcast. If all the stuff about the cults wasn't to your interest at all, then we can all learn from the great example of friendship that Andrei has shown by making me a fuck off roast dinner when I really, really need it. So thank you.
Well, I would love to end it in fucking a must, but Donald Trump is doing a good enough job for us, so...
The girls are fighting, and I'm here for it.
Well, on that note, guys, have a lovely rest of your day. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time.